Happy modeling and welcome back to UML Operator channel. And today we're going to do a shorter version of making the diagrams you're working on work for you and fit for you. So let's get started. The first thing that I want to talk about are tools. So we can get to baseline. That's going to be the first tool that's most important. You go to Design tab, you go to Manage, and you can find baseline right here. The other way to get to it, of course, is to hit Control, Alt, and B to bring up the same baselining dialog box. So you can baseline your whatever package that you're on at a particular time. Next is to have the right workspace. This is the default factory workspace. We've talked about this a great deal. Start, you go to Workspaces, and you can choose from various workspaces that are available. I have a bunch that are already configured for me. This is my most productive primary workspace layout. It contains the tooling we're going to talk about for the remaining of this demonstration. Next is pan and zoom. We're going to go to Layout tab, and over here in Tools, we find pan and zoom. And for me, it's in the upper right. Wherever it's going to pop up, you put this window, this tool, any place you want. This allows you to zoom in, zoom out. You can use the control slider here to do the same. Of course, you can select items and focus, roll right on them and zoom in. You can see here in pan and zoom. So pan and zoom is going to be mission critical, especially for this demonstration. Next is collaboration. If we go to start here, you're going to see a panel says collaboration. You've got journal, discuss, review, chat, mail, and lots of fun stuff and tools you're going to use. Make sure you've got journal. For me, it's over on the left. It's next to my toolbox that's here, and I can keep a journal of everything that I'm working on within my diagram. And if you're working in a team environment, they can do the same in the same journal. You can have discussions. You can do reviews on elements and diagrams that you're working on. Next is traceability, and traceability you can get to easily from the Start tab. Just go to the Design in the All Windows panel, find Trace, and for me, it's in the lower right. This way, when you're looking at elements, you can trace to what those elements are relevant to for your modeling and your collaboration. All right, so as you're building your diagram, it's going to start to get rather large, and you're going to need to potentially break it up into multiple pages in order to be able to view the elements so they're not eye charts. So as you're working through, you're going to bring in your elements, and then you're going to start to put boundaries in around those elements. Another way that you can start is just with the boundaries themselves before you start bringing in elements. So you can start bringing in the elements, and then you can say, hey, this diagram is going to get rather large, could get more complicated. Let me just set up some boundaries so that it gives me an idea of what elements I want to focus on for a particular conversation. Or you could just start with boundaries and then populate some notes in those boundaries to what you're trying to accomplish before you start bringing in elements. So you have options to follow here. All right, I'd like to do both. Start with boundaries, and then use those boundaries to create Venn diagrams that help demonstrate the intersections within the modeling and the architecture, in this particular case, that we're going to be doing. Next is setting up our pages. Basically, the boundaries that we have that we're going to be using or placing our elements inside. So we want to make sure that we set up the page boundaries the best we can so we understand where the elements reside within our pages. These pages are going to become individual diagrams or images that we're going to be using for other things like word reports or email, sending an image in an email, or a presentation, whether you're using PowerPoint or something else. So setting up the page elements is critical, organizing the elements in those pages, and then getting ready to set up your large diagrams so they fit within the conversation that you want to achieve. So you'll be able to use layout to set your elements and then prepare to put them into individual reports and other conversations. I like to include the boundaries and elements within the models. In some cases, a boundary is just an overview of what architecture is going to be. It may not have elements in them. So we want to make sure that we have the elements in there and that we're preparing for page navigation. The next thing that I do, let's just bring the browser over here to the side. I create packages for each diagram. I know there's 3 pages and the naming convention is DSAT1, which is DSA tooling 2 and 3. So I create namespaces and diagrams, class diagrams, so that I'm able to move the elements, copy them as links when we're ready to go. This allows me to set up navigation cells for each one of those namespaces to very quickly get to the diagrams. Next is finishing touches in the master diagram prior to us start building the child diagrams for each one of our 3 pages. So we're going to add in a header, we're going to add in logos and other things necessary to set up the master diagram. Now we're ready to start copying our elements over to our pages that we created. We want to copy them as links. Do not copy them and paste them as new. We want to keep the global unique IDs. All right, next we want to test our master page to ensure that it's getting to the diagrams that we created. So we're using the navigation cells to move around the diagrams and being able to get from the master diagram to the individual diagrams. Next, we're going to talk about styling our models so that they can be presented in reports, email, and presentations. So we're going to apply some styles. Whether you're using legends or whether you're using custom draw, you can create individual diagrams that have their own unique styles. I like to use legends when I'm modeling. It gives me the ability to tell my story. Within the legends, I'm able to set particular parameters, whether I'm using tag values. In this case, we're talking about release cycles. And so I want to make sure that I'm able to communicate what's going on in a particular model for particular stakeholders. All right, we're going to talk about Workspace and productivity. In the beginning of the video, we talked about tools. Having the right tools available for you during analysis, presentations, documentation, collaboration is very important. So we have various workspaces that are available to us. We can customize and configure our own. We've talked about that, but having the right workspace for productivity is mission critical. Now we're finally ready to run our reports, and you can take the images and build reports inside Sparx Enterprise Architect or use them outside in Word, Microsoft Word, or whatever word processor you're using. You can use them in presentations and other tooling. But now we have our diagrams available for any reporting and collaboration objectives that we have. All right, we're going to wrap up now. I hope this episode was helpful for you. This is the short version. I am going to make a longer version of this that gets into more details for early adopters of Sparx Enterprise Architect. Otherwise, our advanced users have watched the previous episodes and understand the tooling and a lot of the things that I talked about in this video. This is kind of a short reminder for those that are coming in or coming back or are working on something and go and want to, hey, what did we do? What's the easiest way to approach this? But the ability to actually break large models into smaller models for conversations. I'm still getting into conference calls where we're looking at eye charts. And I appreciate the work that the architects and modelers put into it, but you got to be thinking about the user and the user experience as you're going through. So this helps you take this is a kind of a small model. I have much larger models that I certainly wouldn't want to report on this. No one would be able to read it. In this particular case, we could certainly zoom into particular areas, zoom out, lots of different ways. But, when it comes to sharing either via email, the web, word processor, or some presentation application, it makes it a lot easier if you can actually see the model that folks are focused on in a particular situation. All right. So again, post comments down below. All right. Ask questions. Let me know what your challenges are, and I'll try to get back to you on that. But until that next episode, happy modeling.